I'm not gonna have a bunch of these reviews. So the lighting, I don't even know how to do this. So my lighting's gonna be all messed up. Look at that. There you go. So premium protein. This is the Caffe Latte. 30 grams of protein. Caffeine equals 1 cup of coffee. 160 calories, 1 gram of sugar, and 24 vitamins and minerals. Net carbs, so you take the carbs, total carbs is 5, minus the dietary fiber, which is 2. There's no sugar, alcohols, or anything in it, so it equals 3 net carbs with 30 grams of protein. So, again, I'm on the Zepbound shots with the TRT, my prescription TRT, okay? So with that, I've not really seen anybody do that, so that'll be a first thing that we gotta do. So I gotta maintain my protein intake because this is my 3rd week of the shot. So I will tell you, that's my biggest thing to make this work, obviously, because of the advice. And forewarning, I'm no scientist. Forewarning, I would think it's hilarious. The more people rag on me and make stuff up and say I didn't know this or that, I really don't care. So that's what makes it even better. And I literally enjoy being roasted, right? So, and also learning. So any of this stuff that's I'm corrected, believe me, I'm not just gonna read your stuff and be like, oh, Jimmy Foe 2700 says that my calculation on this stuff is wrong or I misspoke. So I'm gonna make sure I research whatever you're telling me to do too. So, because you can't turn fat, right? From my understanding, you can't turn fat into muscle. I have to lose fat by the low in-calorie intake, which basically the shots are doing, making me not eat as much and almost putting me into a keto state because I'm not a big carb eater anyway. In a sense of like, I'm gonna have my breads and stuff like that. Like I've probably been, if there's a easy replacement of a carb like bread, even though I'm not necessarily on a keto diet, low carb diet, all my bread's replaced with the 647 bread since it's been out. So, but at the same time, then I'll get an OIP sub or get another go somewhere and I won't not eat the normal bread. But if there's a replacement thing, I'll do that as a regular part of my, it's almost like diet soda. Like if there's regular soda with diet soda, I'll replace it. Diet soda is easy to access. Bread is now easy to access, that's low carb. So I just instantly, and it's probably been years, so you could see my pantry. You're like, oh, you got low carb? Like, no, I just have low carb bread in there because it's it replaces it tastes just as good and the same to me. So if I can, help out a little bit, it's like, well, why you got a big old thing of large pizza and you order a Diet Coke. I remember those jokes back in the day when in reality you are saving calories. So because I am the epitome of somebody who blew up came out of basic training, a solid like 187, 5'10", like in shape dude, to within 6 months of then up to 370 or something like that. It was absurd. And God bless my first wife that went from seeing me like that to that's not what she signed up for. Like, oh, it doesn't matter, it's who you love. No, she got pregnant in college. You know what I mean? You all know what that type of thing is. You know what I mean? College, I'm looking all good, coming back, uniform on, you know what I mean? A little trickery, you know what I mean? And then bam, and then 6 months later, the same dude she looked at blew up to not 225, not 250, not 275. I was up to 417 within a year, just obese. And I remember going to working on the railroad, out there working on the railroad. And I remember sitting there and the doctor telling me, like, he's asking what to eat. He's like, look, I'm here, he was a certified doctor, but like dietitians might have been a thing back then, but it was like, he was a doctor, but he obviously did stuff for diets. He's like, listen, not like nowadays with actual dietitians, there's always everything like you go to a doctor, specifically for that back then, and maybe you still do now, so anyway. And he's like, what you're eating, there's no way you weigh this much. He's like, I don't even think you, like when they told me how much you actually weighed, I didn't believe it. Like I thought you were like an obese 260, 270, not almost 400 some pounds, because I'd carry it very differently too, which I didn't even know was a thing. So, and you look at pictures of me and you'd be like, yeah, he's probably like, people are like, oh, like how big are you, like 260, 270? And that's when I was like, no, like 400 some pounds. They're like, no way, right? So, um, he was like, "What are you drinking?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm on top of what I'm eating. I'm drinking. I would just drink a ton of soda, and I'd have like 2 liters a day." And he's like, "Let's put that in the math." He wrote it down. He's like, "Listen, if you just switch your soda to diet soda, you're gonna lose 100 pounds very, very quickly." And it's what happened. And I remember I was still 417, so I dropped like through a 7 and maintained that weight, but was still eating a calorie intake. And then when I would go to military deploy, so the amount of food calorie intake was the same, just different food, but my activity just dropped, went skyrocketed. So then I could get in shape, and then as soon as I got home, then my calorie intake would stay 7 to 10,000 a day, whatever it was. But I'd have no more working out, or no more if you go out, in the field, you're being active almost 24/7. I didn't have that. So then it was just like I'd blow back up to my, I dropped to maybe 240 something. It was a really healthy, solid weight for me. And then come home and blow back up to like 317. So I always would fluctuate, give or take, 100 pounds on deployments within months, like drop it really quick and also gain it really, really quick when I get home. And just did that of just whatever that does to your heart, whatever it does to your body over those years. It's funny because like my kids be like, "You were never really small," or like, "You were always heavy." Like I'd make a face, I'm like, "Yeah, I wasn't this heavy." Like, you look at pictures, like I was a stocky dude compared to being like an obese dude. Like, so to them, it was like I was always the size I was, but I would just be stockier looking. Like I'd hold it better, even though it might be literally 100-pound difference. And people that, if it wasn't for doctors telling me and believing, and like people see me and be like, one of my nicknames I got, like I walked in, people like, "I thought you were a civilian like janitor here to like help," and I'm like, "Nah, it's me." Like, "What the fuck, dude?" I don't even home for like literally 3 or 4 months, and I would just gain like just 80 pounds, just nothing. So learning all the different things I've learned through the years, and being around people that just know what they're talking about. Me losing the fat's not going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to lose fat and gain muscle." So at the same time, I have to keep my protein intake up. So I'm trying to get to like 150 to 200 protein grams a day. So I'm drinking multiple one of these a day to keep that up. So, and with whatever protein I'm eating. So is that the best way to get it? Again, I don't know. Like, people tell me I've watched enough YouTube. Like I'm somebody who's like I'm jack of all trades, like master of none type deal when it comes to just worthless knowledge, right? Like, so, and knowledge that I've learned from hearing it and then researching it and looking up myself to make sure I'm not somebody who's like, "I saw it on YouTube, I saw it on this or saw it on that." But what I'm saying, I learned it on YouTube. It would be something that I would have not necessarily learned on YouTube, learned it in social media environment, or watching different things, or being around people talking about it. And like my son was just recently on, he's like, to keep that protein, to build muscle while I'm on the TRT, I have to actually have the protein coming in as well. And since I can't eat a lot on this meal, or on these shots, and even take the protein I need to supplement the protein this way. So I'm supplementing protein by doing like 3 or 4 shakes between these ones and the Fairlife. So these are my favorites. So another thing I've been into, that whether I've been on a diet or not, I'm stacked with these premium protein Caffe Latte shakes, or the Atkins ones. I've switched to the premium protein because they give you 30 grams of 30 grams of protein. And when I've been I had the gastric sleeve done first, and then the mini sleeve done. I went down to Mexico, got that done. And the first one helped greatly when I was around that 317. And it was always like I just couldn't break it on my own because I was just lazy. No excuse, no like, "Oh, like I've been injured, I've been laid up, it's all, it doesn't matter. It's all bullshit." Like, if I can say I've been able to do stuff as a fat dude, right, overseas and stuff like that, then I was able to be a fat dude and work out. I just didn't. Right? Like, so there's no like, "Oh, poor me." Like, I was just fat and lazy. I mean, that's all it comes down to. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather be driving to the store and get a double cheeseburger than driving to the gym to lift up a couple quarter pounds. Yeah. So anyway, that's my sense of humor there for you. So for me, as I was rambling, jumping all over the place, trying to be funny, I would always drink these shakes because I'd need to keep my protein up from these shakes anyway. So I'd always at least have 1 or 2 shakes a day, because in the back of my head, when they push, make sure you're maintaining the protein and stuff. So I really like these ones. So I'd give these definitely like a 5-star or whatever. I'm gonna be doing, like giving it my review. And again, I'm just a regular dude. Like that's what the whole thing's gonna be, a dude on YouTube. You know, a regular dude on YouTube. That's all I am. So give a like, give a follow, subscribe. It's gonna be the most random content probably. That I'll probably be in bed one day, rolled over. Hey guys, what are you guys doing? Let me tell you my thoughts on the aliens coming in. And that's how my mind works. I never sleep. You know what I mean? So welcome to the chaos of someone's mind, and I'm just gonna do it the right way. I'm gonna throw these up. There might be some edits to do like the little cool things, but it's just a regular dude on YouTube trying this stuff out, man. And it's gonna be the most random stuff. So hopefully you're in for the ride. You know what I mean? Hit me up with any knowledge you have or any things you want to suggest I do on this diet. I've pretty much, as a kid, they used to say I was going to be a pastor. They'd see me. This is what all the evangelist people would lay their hand on my head as a young kid. And they do the same thing. As I go down the aisle, to be all of them, same thing. Women, men, all through my teenage years. I see you leading. I see you leading crowds and crowds of people, but I just can't tell if it'll be towards God or towards the devil. And I'm like, so, I mean, and that's like, you think about a kid hearing about this. Other people like, oh, you're going to be a teacher. You're going to, go to do this for good for God. And like, it's literally at a church that they're testifying of what they are visualizing, what you're going to be, what senses, what God's telling them that you're going to do. And I'm like, ooh, I'm like, oh shit, like it's hot, touching hot water. Oh, watch out, man. You never know what you're going to get in every single person. So whether I was raised in a cult, didn't know, and they talked to the people behind closed doors because they all did the same thing. And it's like, I see you in front of crowds and crowds. Oh, it's such a beautiful thing. I just can't tell if it'll be leading people to Jesus or leading people to the devil. And I'm like, well, damn. Like, put a lot of little brother, you know what I mean? So, so maybe y'all are my crowd. So we'll see. But either way, again, see, just randomness, I'm jumping. And I'm gonna leave this real up here too. So people are like, what is wrong with this person? All right? So, yeah, I don't know where I'm at. I'm just gonna end it there. So like and subscribe. Get ready for a wild ride. Just regular dude on YouTube.